This is the review for Dopesick, Episode 1, First Bottle. Okay, let me let you guys know already that it's going to jump around, like the dates jump around a little bit, so I'm going to try to do the best that I possibly can, okay? So, it begins in 1986, and it starts off with Richard Sackler looking into the camera. But in actuality, he's looking at his family members because they're the ones that make up Purdue Pharma. It's Richard himself, last name is Sackler, Kathy Sackler, Arthur Sackler, Mortimer Sackler, and Raymond Sackler. Okay, and he says, the time has come to redefine the nature of pain. Ignoring chronic pain has caused an epidemic of suffering. When we live with pain, we are not living our true selves. And I'm paraphrasing too. We are not living our best selves. We are not living at all because the pain overtakes our ability to think, feel, even to love. Now, in that statement, I will agree with that. Depending upon the intensity of pain, it does overtake everything else. All you can do is focus on that pain. Now, I agree with just that portion, okay? So, after he makes this little speech to his family, which is Purdue Pharma, he says, I have a new opioid specifically designed to treat moderate pain for long-term use. Okay? This is in 1986. Then it jumps to the summer of 1996. So that's when Dr. Peterson tells the grand jury, okay, so now they're in court. Dr. Peterson tells the grand jury he's first heard of OxyContin from a sales rep for Purdue Pharma. The sales rep said it was a different medication because it was non-addictive. The sales pitch was, it's less than 1% of patients become addicted. Reps called it a quote-unquote miracle drug. So we're still in court in front of the grand jury. Dr. Phoenix is now on the stand, okay, because it keeps flashing from Dr. Peterson, someone else, and then it went to Dr. Phoenix. Dr. Phoenix was asked, did more than 1% of his patients become addicted to OxyContin? He said he can't believe how many of them are dead now. So he kind of like went off into like a daze and was like a little bit nostalgic and saddened, okay? Then the year changed again. So we're out of the grand jury courtroom now. 1996. This is a female, her name is Betts. That's the name of the character, okay? Betts works in the coal mine. And I believe this takes place in Virginia. So Betts is a lesbian. Okay, she's closeted. She's a closeted lesbian. Her and Grace are the only two females that work in the coal mines. The rest are just men. So, in 1996, all right, it shows Betts hurt her back while working in the coal mine. To help you to get a better picture of what her back looked like so that you can kind of get a feel of how painful it was. There was a bruise. She had a long, dark, eggplant colored bruise from the middle of her back to the right side of her back. And it showed her, in this particular scene, showering. She was standing up in the shower and she was like in so much pain just to have the water hit her back. And I knew she had to have, if not broken, fractured one of the bones in her back. She had to. Then, after that, it flashes back to the grand jury, okay, with Dr. Phoenix again on the stand. He was asked, what does he think contributed to all those deaths in a short time? He said OxyContin, and he was the prescriber. Then it panned out again. So now we're in year 2002. All right. OxyContin caught the U.S. Attorney's attention, as well as Purdue. So they've noticed that there has been a pattern of theft, robbery, and job abandonment related to the drug OxyContin. Jails were filling up, and there was an increase in crime. So then we come to meet a new character named Bridget Meyer. Bridget Meyer works for the DEA. She is the deputy director of the diversion unit. The thing about OxyContin, it was the first time that the FDA labeled a class 2 narcotic as less addictive. All opioid narcotics are addictive, okay? This is the only one. That's why this, kind of caught people off guard and caught doctors off guard. Like, what the hell? This is an opioid and it's non-addictive? Explain that to me, and we'll get into that. So, as I'm continuing to watch, there's a promotional video that Purdue Pharmacy made. And they sent this promotional video out to all these doctors. So the U.S. Attorney looked at these promotional videos. And he said one thing that he did notice is that they referred to OxyContin as medication, pain medication, drug therapy, or time-released pill. They did not call it by the name that it was, which is OxyContin. This promotional video was sent to 15,000 doctors. Okay? So then it pans back to Richard Sackler and Purdue. Richard was in his office, or in one of the offices, and he had attorneys there and people from his company. And he said that IMS was about to release a 3.0 version, which is an upgrade, that tracks daily prescriptions instead of quarterly. So if they double their sales force, they can use that data to target doctors prescribing Lortab and Vicodin and flip them to OxyContin. The IMS database was created by Arthur Sackler. It was kept secret for years. That bit of knowledge, he said, was kept secret for years. And Arthur Sackler is his uncle. So he's a crooked little man. Just looking at him, I was like, oh, he looks like a snake, even though I know that's a character playing him. So after that, it shows the sales reps going to, I almost want to think of it like a big class. The class is explaining to them how to speak to the doctors, how to get in their good graces. So it gave talking points. The Purdue reps are being told that OxyContin is less than 1% addictive, which is what they're supposed to tell the doctors, that it's the part of the MS-Contin time-released system, limits the flow of OxyContin in a 12-hour period. basically saying that you can't get addicted to it because it's time released. And also, it's supposed to discourage people from wanting to get high off of the medication. Like if they wanted to take 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth tablets. That's what this information was supposed to do, what they were trying to do. They was lying the whole time, but that's what they were doing. They were told to target with sales Western Virginia, Eastern Kentucky, and rural Maine because of the labor work and the mining and farming work. So, being that there's that much extensive work and rigorous activity, there's going to be a lot of mishaps with your body, pains, aches, breaks, damage. So they were told to focus on those states first. They said, do whatever you have to do to get into the door. Make the doctor feel special. Take them to dinner. Fill up their cars with gas, but I thought, hell, they're a doctor. They should be able to fill up their own car with gas. And don't matter how high the price is, they got it. But just to get 10 minutes to pitch, bribe the receptionist with a mani-pedi so she will let you into the office. The reps were also given full psychological profiles on each doctor that they saw to get to know them. If they had kids, get them tickets to Disney World. Whatever to win trust and friendship. So they was just sneaky snakes, slimy. So there was this one rep for Purdue. His name was Billy. So Billy went to go and speak to Dr. Phoenix. After speaking to Dr. Phoenix, well, actually, when he came in, he came with something that he knew Dr. Phoenix likes, Kentucky Fried Chicken. So after he, got into the office, ate a little chicken with him, he left Dr. Phoenix with OxyContin samples to give to his patients. After that, the scene pans out to Betts. Betts is, remember, she's a lesbian. Betts is in bed with Grace. Grace is also a lesbian. Actually, it's an interracial lesbian relationship. Okay? And their relationship is secret, Grace came out. Everybody knows that she's a lesbian. But Betts, she's closeted. Grace was telling Betts, this is the little part where it steers away from OxyContin. So Grace and Betts are in love. Grace wants to move to Eureka Springs, Arkansas with Betts. She says it's a gay-friendly mountain town. Betts does not want to go, especially if there are no mines, because she said her family has been doing mining for 4 generations. And that she can't come out as gay because her father will never speak to her again. That's where they left off on that particular part. Then it shows Dr. Finnick at home, finishing up his Kentucky Fried Chicken, reading an article on pain. Then it shows Richard Sackler on the phone calling all the sales reps for Purdue Pharma just to get an update on the doctors and how is everything going as they're speaking to doctors. And Billy was telling Richard that the doctors are hesitant, especially about an opioid medication that is not addictive. He says, yeah, but keep pushing. They have to understand this. Keep pushing them. You know what? His wife made a comment which irritated me a little bit. Okay, I know that what they was doing was wrong, but her comment is, she said, don't call sales reps. It makes you look desperate. And I'm like, what the hell? If I were to get a call from the company that I'm working for, even if it was H&M, if it was the Olive Garden, whatever, I would be happy. That lets me know I'm doing a good job. Just for her to make that comment pissed me off. Just like, who the hell you think you are? But that's neither here nor there. That just pissed me off. So then it goes to another scene, which is showing Bridget Meyer, who works for the DEA. She's getting her divorce. 2002 is the time. And it shows that, they're about to divorce. Then it shows 1999. Bridget is having a flashback because that's when she met her husband. Actually, she was in the van, in the back of a van with her team, and they did a cocaine bust, and they found some pills, and they're like, what is this? And then she was asking the guy that she busted, what is this? He's like, oh, you don't know? So then later on, she found out that it was OxyContin. She went to her office and stayed late doing some work and making some phone calls, and she saw that foster care occupancy tripled. There was an increase in child abandonment. Local jails were overflowing. There was an increase in prostitution. A pharmacy was broken into, and the only drug that was taken was OxyContin. And this was when OxyContin was on the market for 3 years. So this happened in 96, but she's learning about it in 99. Okay. So then she goes and she talks to another person in the DEA. And she's like, I need to find out a little bit more about this OxyContin, And the lady that she was speaking to was saying, you know what? A man by the name of Curtis Wright, he was the medical review officer. He approved the FDA label because this is kind of what made the doctors take a double look. Oh, this is FDA approved. And it says that it's less than 1% addictive. It was a lie. But the fact that it had like the FDA behind it saying that was kind of like, well, if the FDA is behind it, maybe, I can kind of look into this a little bit more. But Curtis Wright worked for the FDA, and he approved that label saying less than 1% addictive. But then, well, we'll get to him. We're going to get back to that part. Keep that in your mind. So then it's spanned back to 2002. That same lady who Bridget Meyer was talking to about OxyContin and about Curtis Wright working for the FDA. The U.S. attorney came in 2002, and they were speaking with her. And they were asking her, there were no studies done to show that, OxyContin wasn't addictive. And she said, no. The FDA listened to what Purdue said about the time release. The whole time release medication within a 12-hour period. Yeah, they were listening to that. But the thing is, FDA listened to Purdue, but who worked for FDA? Mr. Wright, Curtis Wright. So he was listening to whatever Purdue told him. And then the thing about that, after the drug hits the market, Curtis Wright resigns from the FDA and works for Purdue Pharma as executive to medical affairs. An investigation was opened on Curtis Wright. This is the last scene. We know that Bets is hurt. Her back is killing her. And she was in bed and she woke up screaming. So finally, she saw the doctor. All this time she hasn't seen the doctor. She's just been suffering through this pain. The doctor is one of those small town doctors. So he makes house calls. He came to the house and he was telling her, you know what, Bets, after he saw her back, I can't let you go back to the mines. I'm going to have to talk to your supervisor. And she said, no, don't do that. I love the mines and I have to keep working because I got to get out of here. And She said, you know, you don't understand. And then he said, you know, Bess, I delivered you. And then she's like, he said, I already know. So she said, I have to work to make enough money to get out of here because she can't take it anymore. Like basically she's ready to come out. So he said, okay, I understand. I'll help you. So he reached inside of his bag and pulled out the samples of OxyContin. And he gave her 3 days worth and told her to take 2 pills a day, 1 pill in the morning and 1 pill at night. By the time he left the house, she had already took 2 pills. So I said, oh, wow, this isn't going to be good at all. And that's how it begins. He was actually doing a good thing. And Dr. Phoenix was a good doctor. A lot of Tylenol he was prescribing his patients for pain. He would give Tylenol, especially for minor pains, because they were saying that OxyContin could be used for minor pains, for a headache. This is what they were telling the sales reps when they were in the, like in that class I was talking about. Oh, you know, OxyContin can be used for arthritis pain, headaches, toothaches. So basically to use it like you would use a Tylenol. Just crazy. It's so crazy how they just lied and lied and lied. So I'm really interested to see how this unfolds and to hear about how that whole family is bankrupt, hopefully. I hope they didn't lost every damn thing. I was so tempted to go online and Google to see what had happened to them. But you know what? People are so crooked. The world is so crooked and corrupt. They might still have a different name and still be getting rich, but you never know. But that is the first episode of Dopesick, titled First Bottle. If you enjoyed it, let me know. Feel free to like the video. We talk about everything nursing or in the mental health field, anything having to do with that, because I am a nurse. And being that I enjoyed this show so much, I said, damn it, girl, let me just go ahead and review it. So that's what I'm doing right now. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.